if you are like many of us, we hear this darn word all the time, container. What the heck does container mean when it comes to relationship, when it comes to, oh, let's set a container. What's a container? Well, we just got off one of our coaching client calls, and it's been a conversation. We've been setting containers, using containers for many, many years. And we found that our clients and people in our community are still trying to figure out what the heck does that mean and how to actually use them. So we're going to try to unwind it, to break it down for you so that you can use this to avoid tons of conflict in your relationship. Because most of us just move through life going experience to experience to experience instead of pausing for a moment, actually figuring out what the two of us are actually saying, not just like, oh yeah, I hear you. No, like, well, what did you actually hear? And setting something. A container is a thing. It's an agreement field. It's a thing. So what do you got, my love?
Okay, so container is exactly what Rano just did. It's a space with a boundaried space, I would say, that allows for two people to get clear on whatever it is that they're needing to get clear on. And in relationship, clarity is everything. There's so much space for mistakes and misunderstandings. Sometimes I'll use a word, he thinks that word means something. Sometimes I'll use a tone, he thinks that is a tone for something. Depends on what's going on for him that day. There's a million and one ways that communication between two people can go sideways. And so what we have found out in our relationship is that if we take the time to set a space, a contained space to work out all of those mismatchy things, and this can happen in literally in micro minutes, it smooths our sails so much easier. As Rano said, we have so many less fights and bickers and bumps, and we want to offer this to you.
So containers can come in all different shapes and sizes, just like the Container Store. There's different colors, there's different things, and they're used for different purposes.
For holding something.
Yeah, they can be small or little, or they can be bigger containers to hold heavier, more deep, intense conversations or topics in your relationship. So the basic premise, we're just going to walk through it right here, and then we'll break it down even further into different aspects and different ways that you can use this in your relationship. But it's basically going to be, I'm going to be person one, she's going to be person two. You can use this anywhere in your life. So I am going to come in and request a container. The person who needs a container is going to ask for it. So I'm going to come up.
And why would a person need a container?
That's a really good question. I might have a desire I want to share. I might need to vent something. I might need to get confirmation for something. I might need to
get understanding about something.
I might need to share something. I might need to
explain something.
There's so many different ways for a container. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to be like, hey babe, do you have 5 minutes that I can share this thing that I've been wanting to share with you? Okay, so person one asks for a container. I set a period of time. I said I want to share something with you, and now she has at least an idea of something that I'm going to go with. Now it's her responsibility. I could get better at this, but just based on what I said, what would your response be?
I'd say, okay, you need 5 minutes to share something. Is that who do you need me to be in that share? Is that something that you want to share about me or us? Is that something you want to share about your life? What is it that you're actually needing me to listen for, be available for?
Great question. So I would say, okay, I want to share about our plans to travel to Europe. That's not going to really
5 minute
fit
container.
In a 5 minute container.
5 minute container. We need
too
a
much.
bigger container for that one.
So an actual container that could work in this, I'll be like, okay, I just need to get your opinion on where we would like to go for dinner this weekend, and I don't want to just book it without you. Do you have 5 minutes for that?
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. I'm setting a container. She knows what she's getting into. Is that okay? Can we move forward with that?
Yeah.
So she can agree to, okay.
I got 5 minutes.
So here's all the things. I might even set a timer. Here's all the different restaurants. Which one would you prefer? Okay, this one. If that one's not available, this one. Okay, great. Blah, 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 blah. Boom. Container done. That's a simple example of a container to get a need met, to have an understanding of each other, and to create something. That's a container.
Now, and why that might seem like, well, duh, just ask your partner, like, where do you want to go? Why do you need a container for that? That seems pretty overkill, I think.
Maybe, right?
Right?
You'd think.
You would think, but as if you're in a relationship, you know that it can quickly go into
It's the little things that create the fights.
Exactly. It's the little things. So the dinner thing, maybe it was more about, I need to ask you about something that you spent money on. I'm looking at this credit card and there's this charge I don't understand. Can I ask you what it is? Now, if all of a sudden I'm getting triggered about him asking me, that's going to need a larger container. Right. So that's a basic container, but it helps to, one, make sure that you get attention from your partner to look and to listen and to tell you if you're available. At that moment, I could have said, you know what? I don't have 5 minutes. I'm in the middle of something. Come back in 20 minutes and I'll have 5 minutes for you. Right. Yeah. It just gives you an opportunity to be in intentional communication with each other so that stories don't get made up. We hear very often, all too often, that my partner doesn't listen to me. They don't make time for me. I'll tell them things and then they forget over and over again. So that, again, comes back to maybe they don't listen to me. Yeah. Have you been having that said about you or saying that about your partner? Oftentimes, that not listening comes from not having the right container to have the conversation, which equates to your partner actually wasn't listening to you because you didn't set it up for them to listen to you.
So we call that a micro container. And to do it again, just so you know, the first person says, hey, do you have a little bit of space to have this type of conversation? The other person says yes, or negotiates what they need in order to meet you in that space, or says, I can't right now, but can we do it later? But there's a negotiation that happens. The container is set. You either choose the time or you just navigate the particular thing. You wrap that thing, you get all your needs met. You ask for clarity. Does that make sense? Does that work? Is that good? Container complete.
I would even say more than does that make sense? What did you hear?
What did you hear?
What did you hear? That's super helpful in any communications, container or no containers. Is that clear? What did you hear? Okay, got it. We're on the same page. Let's go.
Because if I say, does that make sense? And she says yes, but I was saying blue and she was thinking light blue, but I was thinking dark blue, but I just said blue.
He was thinking this. Yeah. It's still both blue.
It's still both blue, but I'm like, what the heck is this? This is so the wrong color. She's like, well, you said blue. Well, you said you understood, or you said, I said, does that make sense? Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah, it totally made sense. But did I track? Did I fully grok? Did I fully understand? Is it exactly the thing that he meant? There's a lot of room for misinterpretation there.
That's a good one. Not does that make sense? It's what did you hear?
What did you hear?
So, I heard light blue. Oh, no. I meant dark blue. Oh, okay. Now it's clear. Big difference, right? Now, avoids a lot of fights.
Now, some people might think, oh, that feels like way too much. Again, overkill. But little things like this build up over time. And then all of a sudden, those stories that we mentioned, you never listened to me, or a blow up can happen later. So it's kind of like,
always do this.
Yeah, you're mitigating long-term blowouts or later blowouts by spending more time being intentional in the day-to-day, moment-to-moment. And we weren't taught this. We kind of just skip over things, assume a lot, make up stories, hear what we want to hear. And then when you're bickering about this thing that you keep bickering about, it's not ever about that. It's just you didn't take the time to get clear, super clear, crystal clear on what the thing was. And then over time, you didn't get clear. And then all of a sudden you're pissed off and you're not even clear about what you're fighting about.
Totally. You may have seen another video of ours where we talked about trying to get things done in passing, where you're like, hey, honey, could you grab the thing? And you just walk away and they didn't hear you, but you thought they heard you. And that's a big miss. Little containers, micro containers help fix that. So it's like, hey, you got a quick second? Sure. Okay. I need this, and this. Is that something you can do? Great. What did you hear? I heard this, and this. Yep, that's it. Great. Awesome. It's all done. Boom. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be long. It may be complicated at first for you to set this up and practice it. But once you get it.
Feel awkward.
Oh my God. We saved so many fights and misunderstandings and just with those little micro containers.
So many.
All right. So let's talk about a bigger container. And so many of you might already be using our Sacred Space Guide. You're welcome to get that. It's a free gift. We'll make sure we include this in this video as well. But a larger container can look a lot of different ways. Sacred space is one of them. That's a practice that we meet on a weekly basis, and we set a time to talk with one another about bigger problems in our relationship or bigger successes and wins in our relationship. Just it's a larger container to hold specific things for each other in a very specific way, where we light a candle, we talk about it. We're not going to talk about that here. We're going to just talk about a larger container and how you can set that right now. All right. Do you want to talk about setting that, or you want me to do it?
You kick it off.
I'll kick it off. Okay. So a larger container, or something that could be more heavy or intense, especially, I don't know if you relate, guys, most of our clients feel this way as well, but when the wifey comes in and says, hey, I'd like to talk to you about something. Oh shit, you're in trouble immediately. You go into, uh-oh, I'm gonna be in trouble. How do I get out of this? Like, uh-oh, what's going on? What did I do wrong? What didn't I do?
Your story.
Like, what? Yeah, what?
Your
How?
defense. You're
Totally.
building your
It's like,
defense.
oh crap, I'm in trouble again. I didn't do something right. So one of the things that's super, super helpful in any container is just like, is this about me or is this about something else? That's what I always ask, because it helps me immediately like get off the, crap, what did I do wrong? Because most of you guys, if you're in a good relationship, if you're in a decent enough relationship, you know, you're doing your best, you're trying, but we're not so bright sometimes, and we don't do the smartest things, but we're doing our best, we're trying, we're committed, we love you, we want to do good things. But when we do it wrong, we're like, ah, crap. And you know, you ladies are learning how to communicate those needs a little bit more effectively, so that you don't have to guess and just like, oh shit, I didn't guess.
Quality information is key.
Yeah, so containers help with that. So a deeper, larger container for heavier stuff would start the same way, except most likely you're not going to get that container set in that moment, but you're going to ask for that container and set a time to have it. So let's think of a heavy subject that we would talk about.
Something around our sex.
Something around our sex. So, okay, I gotta think about this one here. So how would I set this up?
I'll give it a go.
All right, go for it.
All right. Hey love, I think no, wait, hold on. Stop for a second.
Hey love, you did something wrong.
No.
Oh.
Hey love, there's something that occurred to me from the other night when we were having our intimate time, and I would love to set a special sacred space, is what we would call it, or you know, a container, so that I can share something that's on my heart that I feel is important to us.
So she's making that up, but I already feel nervous because I feel like there might actually be something there that she wants to share with me, just how she got into her heart, and so I was like, oh, there might be something there. So this is live and real with you right now. Okay, right in this moment, I guess I'll be available so we can have that conversation. Actually, maybe I'm not resourced enough. Can we set another time to do that, where we can sit down and be with one another, and maybe not at the end of the workday, so maybe this weekend, and we can have a talk about it? Is it something urgent that you need right away, or is it something that you can hold till this weekend?
No, it's something that I can hold for this weekend, and I would like it to be in a time where you're more available and we can get in our hearts, and I can feel more spaciousness to communicate, because it's a bit tender for me.
Okay, great. Great. So that's a great negotiation. It's all about negotiating the needs from a conscious place, from a loving place, from a compassionate place, from a kind place,
and from a what I need place.
Yeah,
and what he needs place.
Same team. So I would not be available right now to necessarily have that conversation at the end of the day, but I would be when I'm more resourced during the weekend. So let's fast forward to the weekend, and we'll give you an example of what that would be. Okay, so before we get to that weekend, we're back to here right now. How much time do you think you would need for this, and how much spaciousness, I should say?
I'd see if we can schedule an hour. Might not need that long, but that way, if anything comes up or it brings up, if anything comes up or brings up other things that might need to be unpacked, I would like to have the space to take this all the way through.
Okay, great. So I can commit to an hour for that, and then is it about something that I did or didn't do, or is it something about how you're feeling about something, or something that you're wanting?
I think it's best if we just wait till Saturday to discuss this, and it's just something that I became aware of that feels very tender for me to share, and it's some things that we can, if you knew and understood where I was coming from and what I was experiencing, I think that we could, shift things very quickly. So it's not anything that's wrong, it's just more about awareness I had, and an opportunity for us to tweak and grow and learn more.
So I'm still noticing I've got a little trepidation about this conversation that may or may not be real, but I'm just feeling into it, like, oh crap, like what did I not do, what did I do? So I'm going to bring that up, I'm going to share that. I feel nervous about this conversation, and I just want to know that everything's okay with us. And you don't have to tell me anything. And what I heard is that there is a desire for connection. There's a desire for us to love each other more in this. And can I get your assurance that we're good? You're just wanting to improve something.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're good. We're good. It's just something that I realized and I want to share it with you, and I need some spacious time and full attention, and it's something I think we can work through very quickly.
Okay,
But
great.
we're good. It's just an evolution that is available for us.
All right, cool. I feel better about that, and so I can definitely set aside an hour this Saturday or Sunday. Let's plan that out. Okay, so negotiated. That was a little micro container to get to a larger container, but at least that's how we navigated it. We didn't bring it up. We didn't throw it on another person.
Tried to hook me a little bit. Not tried to hook me, but I could have gotten hooked in that moment.
Right, because I overrode myself. It's like, oh, let's just do it right now, but I really wasn't fully available for it. And so she caught it and said, no, I really want more spaciousness to this. So it's really up to both of you to be responsible with your emotions, responsible with the energy in which you're talking about it or your needs, and not overriding yourself. We see this all the time with our clients and people in our community. Like, they override themselves to try to be the savior or try to help out. Well, they needed it or this, instead of actually tuning into what they need. So she helped me a little bit. I helped her a little bit. We helped each other navigate this so that we can actually set that container for Saturday or this weekend to talk about it. Anything you'd add?
Yeah, the one thing I want to add is what you're witnessing in this exchange is I'm not coming with charge. Now, that's not always easy, right? If something's really up and you're navigating a lot of inner turmoil, or you're feeling very uneasy or uncomfortable about something, or you're pissed, right? You're pissed. To be able to navigate what we just navigate from that place isn't going to work. In that case, I would highly encourage you to do your inner work to find out how you can get to a place where you can make a request from that calmness. Or one thing you could do is you could email or text. Obviously, if you have agreements amongst each other that these are the ways that you're going to ask for these containers, but I could have texted it so that if I was feeling really pissed, I can at least edit my words in advance, send it in a way that would not have charge, and then we could have that negotiation by text. So the best thing to do is release the charge somehow, do your inner work it out so that you can come from an open-hearted, vulnerable, valuable place to ask for the container if it's something that you're feeling angry or triggered around. Being triggered, you can still ask for a sacred space container. That's, again, a whole other practice that we teach. But in that moment, I didn't bring any charge. I took full responsibility for what I was feeling, and it's something that I wanted to express, and that it was tender and vulnerable for me.
Yeah, and another caveat too, be mindful of texting and emailing as well, because if you still got charge in it and there's any sort of snarkiness or prickliness in it, that could blow up even more. So just know where you guys are.
Less is more in that space, right? So say, hey babe, I'm feeling really, something upset me the other night, and it is about us, and I love you very much. I would like some sacred space. When's the soonest time we can have that? I think we're going to need at least a couple hours. I'm good. We're good. But can we have that conversation?
Yeah. This is all, are you tracking? You getting it so far? So make sure you write down all those different parts. Make sure you look at it. Make sure you download our Sacred Space Guide too. Again, the link should be somewhere on this video. And it's really, really important to be as adult as you can, to be responsible for your emotions and not bring it into something. And if you have all those emotions, the more you use like setting containers, you can bring that into container. Hey babe, I'm fucking pissed right now. Can you just hold space for me for 5 minutes? Sure, babe, I got you. Go for it.
Yeah.
And it's about
a hold the bucket container.
Hold the bucket. And she's like, is it about you? And I'm fucking pissed, but I don't want you to take it on. Okay, I'll put on my oh shit suit or my shields of glory and go ahead.
Oh shit suit.
Yeah, and my oh shit suit and shields of glory. And go ahead, babe. Let it all out. Go for it. I got you. If you don't actually have her, if you can't actually commit to it, say that. Actually, I can't right now. Can you phone a girlfriend? Can you bring this out somewhere else? I can't hold you right now. If we get into this, it's going to go bad. And if it's getting escalated, what we do, like a standard container for us, is noble silence.
Yeah.
which is immediately, hey, noble silence if it starts to get escalated, because we don't want to keep feeding that pattern that blows up, and then we're like, ah. So as it starts to go up and we're like, no, you didn't, and it's gonna blow up, one of us just says, hey, noble silence. And we both have trained ourselves that when noble silence comes, we zip our mouths, we stop looking at each other, we tune into ourselves, and a lot of times it's like noble silence, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. We put a time container on it.
Yep. And that's like a mini instant container. Hey, noble silence, 5 minutes. And that usually comes out of my mouth if we're both all so gotta get something in before I get silent. And then we'll come back and be like, all right, okay, 5 minutes is up. How do we feel right now? Okay, I'm a little bit more calm. Let's have this conversation. But it's all about communicating your needs effectively. Don't be dumping on people. Don't be dumping on your partners. Don't be dumping all over the place. Be an adult. Take responsibility for what's going on inside of you. If you don't have the tools, get the tools, read a book, find a thing, hire a coach, do the thing. But if you want a great relationship, it requires you to show up 100%, both of you to show up 100% with each other. Yeah. And setting containers is one of the easiest and simplest ways that you can navigate the challenges of life, man. It's not that easy out there all the time. No. Sometimes it's great, but sometimes it sucks. Yep. And the more you can manage these containers and the more you can set containers with each other, the better your relationship's going to be, because you're going to be more sunk, arm in arm with each other.
Yes, arm in arm, step and step. In step.
So hopefully that was helpful for containers, micro containers, and how to set them and what the heck they are.
And you got a bonus tool when you're triggered. Noble silence.
Noble silence. Yeah. So hopefully that's helpful. Keep following us. Watch our videos. Check this out. We're going to keep bringing more and more of this yumminess to you.
If you like it, subscribe, share this with friends, and we have a lot of online events. So check them out too. Yeah. All right. See you soon.